Okay, let's talk about the 5 foods you're gonna wanna bring into your diet to prevent diabetes. And these are fun foods. I eat many of these foods every day, and I gotta tell you, I don't feel deprived. I only feel like when I eat these foods that the health in my body just goes up. So let's dive in. Okay, first, we have to say, what is diabetes? I just want to bring this up first because I know a lot of you, maybe if you're watching this, you're pre-diabetic or you have diabetes. Let's start this conversation with the idea of what is diabetes. And diabetes to me is just a fancy term for insulin resistance, okay? What is insulin resistance? Insulin resistance is just a fancy term for your body has made too much insulin and it doesn't know what to do with it. So every time you've been eating, the pancreas has been pushing out all of this insulin, trying to connect it to the glucose that you're eating so that it can drive it into the cell. And you just did that too many times, so the pancreas is wearing out, the cells are starting to be oversaturated with insulin, they don't know what to do, and so you have all this extra insulin that often gets stored as fat. So that's the mechanism of the basis of what diabetes is. Okay, the first one for my meat eaters is a grass-fed steak. And it could be a burger, it could be grass-fed meat in general. In fact, I've even gotten recently into organ meats. I think organ meats are phenomenal. We were at a restaurant in New York recently where there was a burger with organ meats mixed into it, so you couldn't even taste it, and we got all of the benefit of organ meat. So how does grass-fed meat tie into diabetes? Well, and why do I say grass-fed? That's the other thing I want to point out. So what we know about meat is that it is a protein. Protein will stabilize your blood sugar. But grass-fed meats come with a little extra healthy punch because they're going to give you omega-3 fatty acids. And omega-3 fatty acids create this beautiful health to the outer membrane of your cells. So stick with me here because think about this. So diabetes is the cells not responding to insulin and glucose. Grass-fed meats have omega-3 fatty acids in it, which nourish this bilipid membrane around the outside of those cells so that it can start to bring the health of the cellular membrane back again, allowing insulin to be more effective inside the cell and get into the cell. So that's why I say not conventional meats, I'm saying grass-fed meats because of the omega-3 capability to repair that cellular membrane that's happening with the damage that happens with diabetes. Okay, number 2. This one you all love. I did a big video on it. My team will leave another link to it. And that is egg. Why do I love eggs so much? So remember, everything inside that egg actually has all the nutritional makeup to build and grow a baby chick. It has all those nutrients in it. So when you're eating an egg, you're not only getting protein that will stabilize your blood sugar, great for diabetics, but you're also getting all these extra nutrients in there that are going to help support cartilage. They're going to help to power up your mitochondria. They're going to help to build your brain stronger. And one of the things we know about diabetes is that when you have too much sugar in your system, it gums up your red blood cells. Talked about this before. I've talked with Net Boz about this and another fellow YouTuber, and how we need to bring back the health of the red blood cells so it can oxygenate all the cells in your body. So what eggs do is they start to go into the areas like your brain and bring nourishment to the brain because it may not be getting the nourishment it needs. It may not be getting the oxygen that it needs because your red blood cells are so gummed up with extra glucose. Okay, I gotta interrupt this video because I have a free guide for you so you can master fasting. It's called A Beginner's Guide to a Fasting Lifestyle, and all you've gotta do is click here and you can jump right in. Okay, number 3. This is my favorite. Spoke about this a lot, and it is the avocado. So with the avocado, you have so many qualities to an avocado that will help a diabetic body. For starters, it's really high in fat, so it'll stabilize your blood sugar. In fact, I will tell you a little hack I use for myself is I have an avocado with every meal because I know it's going to stabilize my blood sugar. The other thing is about an avocado is it's high in fiber. So it not only stabilizes blood sugar, but in many cases it'll bring blood sugar down. For diabetics, this is really important because now you may not need as much insulin, exogenous insulin into your system. So put it with every single meal to stabilize your blood sugar. Okay, number 4. Now this is a good one. I feel like we haven't talked about this, so I want you to hear this all the way through. And it is bitter foods. So I want to give sort of a category, and I'm specifically talking about bitter vegetables. My favorites are dandelion greens and radicchio. And the reason, if you're diabetic, you're going to want to support your liver is because the liver is a fat-burning organ. It is detoxing you. It is stabilizing blood sugar. It is helping you make low amounts of ketones. It's really, really important. So make sure that you bring in some of these bitter vegetables and so that you can feed your liver so it can balance your blood sugar better. Now, the other little hack I love about radicchio is I use it as lettuce. It is such a great, yummy way to build a sandwich without using bread. So I'll put a little mayonnaise on the inside of radicchio, and then I'll put some turkey slices. I'll put some grass-fed cheese and roll it up, and that is my sandwich. So it makes a great lettuce wrap, and it's firm. It can hold together. Number 5, and again, this is just a big category of foods, but this is your green salad. So think about this for a moment. We know that leafy greens, that is one of the best, most fibrous foods you can have. So for a diabetic, when we bring in a salad with every single meal, what we're doing is that we're feeding the microbiome. There is salads, leafy green vegetables. This is everything from your romaine lettuce to your spinach to your dandelion greens, like I mentioned in the bitter foods, to your parsley. I mean, any of those green vegetables, even mint. I put all of these in a big salad, and usually I have it about once a day. And all of that is feeding your microbiome. Now, why does that matter for a diabetic? You have to remember that it's the microbes in your gut that are balancing your blood sugar. So if you're not eating enough leafy green vegetables, you're not feeding those microbes that will balance your blood sugar long term. And they will die, they perish. So when I look at a diabetic, I think, okay, how do we get in? This could be a whole meal that I just gave you. How do we get in more of the proteins, the grass-fed proteins, so you can nourish the outer part of the cell? How do we get in more foods like eggs that can support organs that might not be getting nutrients? How do we put in an avocado so we stabilize blood sugar? How do we support the liver with the bitter foods? And then let's feed the microbiome with the leafy green. Can you see how just one meal can dramatically shift what you're experiencing from a diabetic symptom level, but also can dramatically shift how much insulin you're going to need? And the name of the game is less insulin. The less insulin that you use, the less you damage to cellular parts. That important. So it's not hard to add in foods. I find, in fact, it's easier to add in foods than to take foods away. So if you're struggling with food addiction, let's add some great foods in that are going to help you manage the diabetic symptoms you may be having or keep your insulin levels down. For those of you who are pre-diabetic, make sure that you don't go into a diabetic state. Okay, if you loved this video, you're going to want to check out the next video of my food series. On this video, want to talk about the healthy foods that you might be eating that will stop you from a long and healthy life.